Oh my god.
We have did never do always email and homeworks. He lost my
Really?
Yeah. It's like you have to so he like takes half an hour to do for it, find it. He's like, oh, sorry about that.
JP, I want you to
So, my camera ran out of batteries. If you will be quiet for a second. For the people at home, I'm going to summarize what I did over the last like 10 minutes in 1 minute. So if you see how big the gap is to go from 100 down to 56, it's 44. And how many groups do we need if there are 36 data points? The square root of 36 is 6. So we need to cut this size gap into 6 little groups. How do you cut this gap into 6 little groups? They need to be of size 7. But is size 7 for your grouping very friendly? 7 is not a very friendly group size. What would be a cuter group size than 7? 6 would be even better, but 5 would be best. So putting them in that size, putting them in 5, our first group would be starting just big enough at a nice number like 55 to fit our first data point and have it be a nice group size like 5. What will happen if you use 5 instead of 7 is you'll get more groups. You'll get more than 6 little groups, but that's okay because 6 groups, we said that it could be 6 or 7 or 8 groups. So if you do put them in smaller groupings than prescribed, you will get more groups. But who cares if it's 7 groups or 8 groups, as long as it's a reasonable size group. And then we're going to start 6E. Finding the average. How would you find the average of these values?
Add them all up, divide by the number.
Yeah, add them all up, divide by how many there are. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Excuse me. Thanks. This average that you've been doing your whole life is called the mean. There are 3 averages that are used in statistics. The mean is only one of them. So add them up, divide by how many there are. That's called the mean. There's also another one called the median and another one that you have also seen called the mode. The mode you already know. The median is the score in the middle when they are arranged in order of size. So you would have to take your group, arrange it by size, and see which one is in the middle. Who's in the middle here? 6. That's called the median. So the score in the middle, when you arrange them from the smallest to biggest, is called the median. And remember what the mode was? The one that happens most often? Good, Timo. Did any of these scores happen more than the others? Looks like 7 might be the mode. So that's the mean, median, and mode. That's pretty straightforward. Why do you need 3 of these? I think the mode is pretty self-explanatory. It is interesting to find out which group is happening the most often. Why do they ever use a median anyway? The median is used if you have several outliers in a group. Remember when I was talking about the average amount of money we were all carrying around in our pockets? Yeah. And who was it that was having 400,000 baht? Anders or oh, it was, okay, Stefan. If we did the mean there, what kind of data would we get? If we put our 400,000 baht in with, oh, Niles got 200 baht and Mutierrez got 50 baht. Most of us have maybe 200 or 300 baht is all. So the average one of us has 200 or 300 baht, and then we throw Stefan's 400,000 in there. But what you can do is take Stefan's 400,000 out and just forget about it, and then look at everybody else instead. So that's throwing an outlier out. But what if there are several outliers? Do we throw them all out and only talk about like half the class?
Depends on the data.
Yeah, it depends on the data. And that's why the median is used sometimes. If there are several outliers that you can't ignore, and you're still looking for what's the average amount of money we're all carrying around, the average amount of money we're carrying around still should be represented by something reasonable. And what if you arrange them in size and just look at the guy in the middle? What about these huge outliers that I was talking about? Will it ignore the size of those huge outliers and still find the person in the middle with the middle amount of money? Okay, so that's why medians are used as well. Find the mean, median, and mode for that set of values, please.
Middle five was 4. No, I'm just looking at mine. It's probably 5. 5. 2. It's 9. Oh yeah, it's a 5. Yeah, 5. So it's 5, 5.
My size.
Oh,
Okay.
Wait, so you never awarded?
no.
That's probably go with you. Answer's not totally there.
You can't read that drawing.
5, 5.2. Yep. Looks like a 6, though. Yeah. Maybe it's a 6. I think my dad's gonna find it. Really?
Don't come back.
5 and 6 are 5 and 6, they have the same amount. Oh, yeah, that's what. There's this. Yeah.
How does that numerator come out?
5.22.
What's the numerator though?
Oh,
What is that? What is that?
47.
What?
I think 47.
Does it add up 47?
I think so.
Team, did you get 47?
What is it? Ouch.
And what is that to 3 sig figs?
So, hey Raku, what's up? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And what do we do for the median?
Put them in order.
Good. Put them in order.
Okay.
3, 4. Any more 4s? No. 1, 2, 3.
It's 5,
6, 6,
6,
6.
7.
Do I have all 9 of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There they are. Who's in the middle?
5.
There's the middle. So the median is
5.
5. What about the mode?
5 and 6.
5 and 6. Good. If there are 2 modes, you just write both of them. So modes. Mode would be 5 and 6. There are a couple of things going on with the median. If there are a small number of scores, it's easy to find the median. Where does the median live? Arrange them in size, find the middle one. 5. Arrange them by size, find the middle one. 4. John asked a very good question. That is, what if there are not an odd number of values, but what if there are an even number of values?
What is it?
Now what do you do to find the median?
So you gotta add both in the middle. Yeah, okay.
Good. You find what's exactly in the middle of 5 and 6. It's obvious what's in the middle of 5 and 6. It's 5.5. So, to actually find what's in the middle of 2 things, you would add them and divide by 2, right? What would the median be here?
4.5 divided by 4.5. 4.5.
What's in the middle of 4 and 5? 4.5. However, we're going to be dealing with huge sizes for our data. We'll have like 83 different values, and you'll arrange them in size. And there'll be 83 numbers out there, and you'll try to go, okay, I'm trying to go in here and find the middle one. You can see how that might be a bit of a mess if you've got like 80 numbers and you're trying to line them up. You can't even line them up all in a row. You've got to line them up in several rows and then go from the smallest to the biggest and try to come in and in and in and in. So that's not too bad, but this is how you'd actually shorten your work. The value of the median is the n plus 1 over second over 2th form score. What you do is you take the number of values that you have in your data and just put it into this little formula, n plus 1 over 2. So what is that talking about? Which score here was the median? The second score, no? So this is how you'd find you're looking for the second score. How many scores are there? 3. That's what goes in here. There are 3 scores. What's 3 plus 1 over 2?
2.
So which score are we looking for? The second score. So you start at the beginning and you find the second score and you're good. That's silly when there's only a small number of values. But if there's a huge number of values, it's much easier to just say, okay, I'm looking for the 23rd score. Just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See, Mr.
5,000 numbers.
Yeah, then you're in trouble. Then you put it into a computer program or something. If there are 63 scores, which one would you find? You'd line them all up.
32.
What's in the middle there? 63 plus 1 over 2, 64 over 2. You'd look for the 32nd score. So you'd start at the beginning and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until you find the 32nd score, and you'd write that down as the median.
Yeah.
What if there's an odd number of, an even number of values, and you're using this formula? Did we have that here? When I added the 8, what did we end up with? 4 scores? What's 4 plus 1 over 2?
2.5.
So which score am I looking for? The 2.5 score. The 2.5 score. What does that mean? Is that the second score? Is that the third score? What am I looking for? Mr. 2.5. Where is 2.5 score? There's 2 and there's 3. The 2.5 score would be the guy in the middle of 2 and 3. So this formula still works for an even number of scores in this messy situation. But you have to realize that that means you're looking for the 2.5 score. Which means the one between the second and the third score. So, what if you have 20 scores and you're trying to find the one in the middle? What would you look for? You'd look for the 10th score and the 11th score and
Add them and divide by 2.
add them and divide by 2 to see exactly what's in the middle of the 10th score and the 11th score. And that would be the median value. Okay, so these are in perfect order already. They're in a nice order. Find the median. Use our little formula, find the median. Are you getting 28 of them?
29.
I got 29.
You got 29?
28.
There are 28.
Dang it. Oh wait, that's why I got 29. I'm right. 10.5.
9 is the...
It's 10.5. You? There's 28 numbers. 1 divided by 2. And then divided by 2. 10.5. 9 and 12. 5 plus 12, that's 21. What's this? Huh? What's this? 14.5. The 0.5 means that it's even. So do the 14th term of that sequence plus 15th term and divide that by 2.
So what do you do? 28 plus 1, 29.
Divide by 2.
Is 14.5. So where will I look?
14th term and 15th.
The 14th and 15th term and see what's in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's Mr. 14 and there's Mr. 15. What's in the middle of 9 and 12?
21 divided by
21 divided by 2 is
10.5.
10.5. So median,
I'm gonna ask.
median is 10.5. So there are 28 scores. Use your little formula. 28 plus 1 over 2 is 29 over 2. Look for it's halfway between the 14th and the 15th score. This is the 14.5 score. So find the 14th and the 15th and see what's halfway between the 14th and the 15th score.
Really? Something else.
Something wrong. I'm looking at PC.
Next grade.
12. I don't know.
I'm not taking any like language and arts. Like language.
No. Like that.
And that's it. I'm not taking any really? Yeah. Business management.
That's it. Just paid 168.
Now? Who's the teacher for
Add, multiply, divide. So you said it's gonna be like, oh well, graphing is very hard. Like sit there and be like, and my mom was like into right before I start like I just do it over a period of time, but it really much. That's my second. Other than that, it's me saying that
Homework. Next class we'll see how to use our calculators on the stats.
variance.
There's a stats button. We'll start using our stats for in our calculator to do these. But
Stats on what? Stats on what?